break, breaking update coming in as Hindenburg Research, the short seller behind the Adani allegations, has announced its closure, citing the intense nature of its work. Now, this announcement has been made by the founder Nathan Anderson, who has now revealed the news as far as making headlines for the allegations on Adani. Now, short seller Hindenburg has decided to shut shop. As he's been injecting on the shorting business, founder Nathan Anderson, who has shared the news citing that there has been intense nature of his work as the reason, possibly that he has decided to shut shop, saying that this is a personal note that has also been shared by the founder himself. However, the questions that is now being taken up on why disband now, where he says that there is not one specific thing, no particular threat, no health issue, no personal issue, then the reasons that are now being cited, Bhavtosh, as far as when it comes to Hindenburg now packing up as the Adani heat intensifies. The short seller behind Adani shares sell-off disbanded as the announcement coming in from Anderson himself.
Yes, Amita, in fact, it's the timing that needs to be questioned and needs to be asked as to why this is happening now. Remember, there is one of the Republican congressmen had written a letter to the House committee, the Department of Justice committee, asking that all correspondence between Hindenburg and Adani should be preserved. And it's also at a time when there would be a change of guard in US. So these two issues should be looked and it is something that has to be looked into, the fact that Hindenburg is also shutting a shop nearly 2 years after it published its first report. It was way back in 2023 that it published its first report, which virtually led to wiping out of at least billions of dollars for Adani. It was a series of reports that Hindenburg had published, and then subsequently there was a slew of petitions that were filed in Supreme Court. Supreme Court had in fact asked SEBI to inquire into this matter. SEBI inquired into this matter, and then politics was played over. Hindenburg's investigation was in fact considered as a gospel truth by many politicians here. Opposition quoted these reports, and then subsequently opposition said that there should be a GPC. Now, Hindenburg has now said that it is shutting shop. It has not given any specific reason for doing so, but fact remains that the manner in which this has been done, in a very surreptitious manner, they have decided to, in fact, now decided to shut the shop, and also they have said that no specific reason has been given. And they have leveled very serious charges against Adani for past 2 years. Causing a lot of business losses. In fact, this has led to their shares collapsing, and Adani has always come out and said that they stand for a transparent business policy, that they have not committed any kind of business fraud. Despite that, Hindenburg had said that they had committed business fraud, that they are involved in carrying out business activities which are illegal, that they are also, in fact, had set up shell companies which in tax havens. And because of this reason, Supreme Court stepped in, and Supreme Court, in fact, said that Hindenburg reports should not be, in fact, taken into account. Despite that, politics was played over this issue for months.
Of course, we've seen that happening as far as many times as far as the parliament sessions are also concerned. They were disrupted. Let's get in a word from Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP as well. Shehzad, Hindenburg Research, the short seller behind the Adani allegations, has decided to shut shop.
Look, why somebody who is anyways lacking in any kind of credibility shutting shop is not my business. Anyways, the American authorities did not consider them to be very credible, but Rahul Gandhi apparently took all their allegations with a huge sense of credibility. The Supreme Court has come down hard on Hindenburg, and also there is an investigation as to whether this firm made crores and crores of rupees while Indian taxpayers and Indian investors suffered, and therefore that investigation continues. Now the question is that why is Rahul Gandhi latching on to such kinds of organizations that shut shop and do not even stay in the market? And it clearly shows that Rahul Gandhi has used Hindenburg, or Rahul Gandhi's Congress party used the Hindenburg report only to create economic anarchy in India. And now Hindenburg has shut its shop. But what about those who relied on this unreliable organization and its reports? They must be the ones answering to the Indian investors as to why they created so much chaos, panic, and were they fighting, as Rahul Gandhi said, the Indian state? in order to create upheaval into the Indian state, was Hindenburg used as a pawn.
All right, Shehzad, thank you very much for joining in. However, when it comes to the founder himself, Anderson, who is now decided as far as the issuing of statement that is now concerned, let's put that out for our viewers as well to see as far as the statement by Nate Anderson, when this decision to disband Hindenburg, and when it comes to citing the intense nature of his work, the founder itself has revealed the news, and this is the statement. Of course, it's a lengthy one that we are looking at, but the statement that has been put forth by Anderson, as he says that I've shared this with family, friends and our team since late last year. I've made the decision to disband Hindenburg Research. The plan has to wind up after we finish the pipeline of ideas that we were working on. As of the last bonsai cases we just completed and are sharing with the regulators, that day is today, and I write this from a place of joy that building this has been a live stream. And then he goes on to in fact talk about as far as the work that is now concerned, what all have been the revelations. And meanwhile, where he goes on to actually talk about saying that what could be the possible reasons, he says it is not a health issue, it's not a personal issue, there is no particular threat, no big personal issue as well, why he has decided to disband Hindenburg. Let's get in a word from Mr. Udit Raj as well. Udit Rajji, as far as the Congress party and the other opposition parties who were heavily relying on the Hindenburg reports have decided to shut shop.
What is great news about it is their business all over the world, not only in America. Business starts, then business are, then the nature is changed, business is set, the new business starts. He might be going to start a new business. What's the heck of it? What's the great news in it?
Well, when it comes to the opposition, in particular the Congress party as well, had taken it as a gospel truth as far as when it comes to its reports and its findings were also concerned. Of course, the matter that went on to the Supreme Court. But will it now, as far as its credibility is also concerned, will be at, question as far as Hindenburg itself, which is decided to close for business?
Going to start other business. Then why are you interested in it? What is that? There are thousands and thousands entrepreneurs, companies, and businesses are getting open, getting closed. I don't think that's a great news.
All right, because we have seen many sessions of the parliament also getting disrupted because of this report, and how the findings of this report were indeed a big deal for the opposition to take on the government, and that too on the floor of the House. Thank you very much, Udit Rajji, for joining us here on the broadcast. Of course, when it comes to Nathan Anderson himself, writing in that letter saying that there is not specific thing, no particular threat, no health issue, no personal issue. However, Shrinjoy, how do we take it as far as the short sellers decided to shut shop, to disband the business as far as Hindenburg Research is concerned? Shrinjoy? All right, let's get back to Bhavtosh on this, because we are looking at a lot of controversy after, Hindenburg Research founder said that he would disband the firm, and the reports that had also sparked off when it comes to, the heavy short selling by investors, investigation by the authorities, that had led to the, wiping of billions across the world that we are looking at from the market values as well. A lot of losses that one had to deal with before, because on the very basis of what they had said, the so-called findings in this Hindenburg report. Bhavtosh.
Yes, Amita, it's not only Hindenburg that leveled allegations against Adani and led to Adani losing billions of dollars, not on one occasion, but on several occasions. And Adani, in fact, claim that their business practices are above board, but importantly, opposition used the Hindenburg report to cast aspersion at Prime Minister, at several other institutions, including SEBI. Remember, SEBI chairperson was called someone who is working at the behest of Adani's, that they are trying to suppress all the reports, and they were not presenting the correct reports before the Supreme Court. Now, this was going for not one, for a few months, it was going for years. And the question that needs to be answered now is, would the opposition come out and say that they were wrong when they had always relied on Hindenburg report? Now, the manner in which Hindenburg had continuously targeted Adani for over years is something that needs to be questioned now. and the manner in which they have now shut the shop is something which shows that it is clearly a hit job. It was done purposely for one reason, to target Adani's and to target Mr. Gautam Adani, then make sure that their share values go down, that their businesses suffer. Now, there was also another report that was submitted and made public late last year that was again used by some individuals to approach the Supreme Court. Now, that matter is pending in the Supreme Court. So it was actually a hit job that was carried out by Hindenburg, and this was done on at least 5 to 6 occasions. And SEBI always said that these reports are not reliable, that these reports are unreliable, that there is a lot of collusion between Hindenburg. Timing of Hindenburg reports was also questioned by many because they used to
economic and the political turmoil that had happened because of these reports and its findings. We have Akash Zindal also with us. What do you believe as far as now the statement that by Nate Anderson himself has issued that Hindenburg Research would be disbanded?
See, this is a great statement because, as you have rightly said, there has been a lot of political turmoil because of what Hindenburg has been doing. So now we need to find out, and it needs to be established that how come all of a sudden this statement has come. All of a sudden they have decided to disband it. So that is really surprising because so much of political turmoil took. Now, what is the reason? Why all of a sudden an organization has been disbanded? What is the reason behind that? That needs to be found out. And again, Hindenburg, what they have been doing, the things which they have been doing till now, they have all been controversial. So after all these controversial things, after a track of stocks short selling, now all of a sudden disbanding the organization, it raises a lot of questions, a lot of queries. And India also, we have to see and look what Hindenburg has been doing and how politically turbulent the atmosphere has been post-Hindenburg accusations.
Well, it does raise eyebrows as far as this decision is now concerned by the founder himself making that announcement that Hindenburg Research would be disbanded. It has decided to shut shop. But as I said, it had led to a lot of political and economic turmoil as well. Mr. Jindal, thank you very much for joining in. To you, Bhavtosh, as well. We'll get your reactions on that. Let's quickly move on to get you the biggest story.